Good morning all my dear students. So this it is our second lecture of fuel. Here we will see what is Boy's gas calorimeter. So this one it is the diagram of Boy's gas calorimeter. Principle of calorimeter it is whatever heat it is liberated by fuel, it is absorbed by circulating water. So now first of all we will see what is construction of this Boy's gas calorimeter. There is the inlet for gaseous or liquid fuel. Then meter is there, so there we can measure how much amount of gas or liquid fuel that we have burned. Then burner is there and we have to supply air so that there is complete combustion of that fuel. Then copper tubings are there. Through that copper tubings we have to circulate water. One inlet is there and one outlet is there. From there inlet we can circulate that water. There thermometer is there, so we can get initial temperature of that water, and then at its chimney there is the outlet of water, and there also thermometer is there. There we can get the rise in temperature. There we can get the final temperature. So whenever we will burn that fuel, it will generate some heat, and that heat it will absorb by that circulating water, and that because of that there will be rise in temperature. T1 it is the temperature of inlet water, and then T2 it is temperature of outlet water. And this whole assembly it is an insulating chamber, so that there will not be any escape of that heat in environment. Whole heat whatever it is, it will generate, so that will absorb by that circulating water only. So this one it is again here principle of that calorimeter it is given, and the construction is there. So whatever that already I explained you. Now here we will see what is working of this Boy's gas calorimeter. So first of all, to get stable conditions, first of all water it is circulated through that inlet of water. Then temperature at inlet of water and at outlet of water it is observed. If these two temperatures are same, then only we can start the experiment. And meanwhile also we have to start the burning of the fuel, and then we have to start the stopwatch. For some period, like for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, we have to burn that fuel. In that specific period also we have to measure how much amount of fuel that we have burned. One more assembly is there that I didn't explain that in previous slide. So here what we have to do, whatever products will form, so that is H2O, CO2. So that H2O we have to condense in terms of water. So here condensed steam, so small container is there, there we have to collect that condensed steam. Means what? That product it will form, that H2O it will form, that H2O it is in the form of steam, and because of that insulating chamber it will condense, and that condensed steam also we have to collect. Then one more big beaker it is shown, and that is nothing but how much amount of water that we have circulated. So that water mass of that water it is also with us. So now which readings we have taken, that is temperature at inlet water, outlet water, T1, T2. So from T2 minus T1 we will get the rise in temperature. Then from that meter how much amount of fuel, that is capital V, how much amount of fuel that we have burned. Then how much amount of water that we have circulated through that copper tubing, so that that reading also we have to take. And one more it is how much steam that is condensed, that is how much product it is formed and how much that it is condensed steam. So that also reading it is with us. So this one it is the working. So these are calculations. Heat produced by combustion of fuel is equal to heat absorbed by circulating water. This it is our principle. So heat produced by combustion of fuel, it is equal to V into L. What is that V? V, it is amount of fuel that we have burned, into L, that is nothing but the GCV of that fuel. Then heat absorbed by circulating water, it is nothing but M into Cp into T2 minus T1. What is that M? M, it is amount of water that we have circulated. Cp, it is specific heat of water into rise in temperature, that is T2 minus T1. Now here we are assuming that there is no any heat loss. Whatever heat it will generate, that will absorb by circulating water. It will not escape in environment because of that insulating chamber. So now our formula, it will convert L is equal to M into T2 minus T1 upon V. So this it will come, its unit it will be kilocalorie per meter cube. So now if we want to convert that in terms of kilojoule per meter cube, so we have to multiply it by 4.187. So our formula, it will be GCV or HCV, that is L is equal to 4.187 into M into T2 minus T1 upon V, kilojoule per meter cube. Now here one more small beaker is there, and there we have condensed whatever steam it is there. So that condensed steam also we have to measure. Its mass, it will be small m. So this, it is mass of steam condensed, so that is m, and mass of steam condensed per meter cube. So here we have to divide it by V. V, it is amount of fuel that we have burned. So mass of steam condensed per meter cube of that gas, it will be m into V. What will be its latent heat? So we have to multiply it by 587. So latent heat of steam condensed per meter cube, it will be m into 587 upon V. So that this it will be in terms of kilocalorie. If this one we will subtract from GCV, so that will be nothing but NCV or LCV, practically how much amount of heat we are getting. So that will be NCV or LCV is equal to GCV minus M into 587 upon V. So this, it is the formula for Boyce gas calorimeter. So we have that bomb calorimeter formula, Boyce gas calorimeter formula. Depends on that, numericals can come, and these numericals I will give you in assignment. Directly that formula you have to put in that, and then you can solve it. These numericals are very easy, nothing twisting it is there in that formula or in that numerical, but it is very important for your exam. So that I will give you in your assignment.